Today's video about the Hanzi, the Chinese image correctors, is related to the different variants of hand. In particular, I like to introduce this variant to you. You will be surprised in how many Hanzi correctors it is used. Let's get started after the intro. In the introduction I said that there are different variants of the radical for hand, and I like to show you 2 or 3 examples for each variant of hand and how they are used in the characters. So let's begin with this character, which has the meaning of hand itself. The hand itself has 3 horizontal lines. However, when it is used as a radical, it only has 2 horizontal lines, such as in this character. This character means to hit or strike, and it is composed by a hand and a nail. The memory phrase for this is, by hand the nail is hit. The next one has the pronunciation
我
and stands for I, me or myself. It is composed by a hand and a halberd. The halberd hardly can be seen in that image, so you need to memorize it stroke by stroke. And the memory phrase for I or myself is, in my hand is a halberd, that's me, myself. The next character is rather easy to memorize because it is composed by a hand and an eye. The hand is above the eye, and the memory phrase is, the hand shades the eye when watching. That's enough for this variant of hand. Let's continue with the next one. It's the character for friend, and it's actually composed by 2 variants of hands, namely those which I marked in the list as above in red. But how can I recognize a hand? For that, this image might help. So the fingers are to the left and the lower arm to the right. Now coming back to the character for friend, which is, as I said, composed by 2 hands, and the memory phrase for this is, they shake hands because they are friends. Now to the next one. It has the meaning joy or happy, and it is composed by a hand and the image for to lack or miss. It has the memory phrase, even if a hand is lacking, I will stay happy. The next one has the meaning chicken or hen and is composed by a hand and a bird. It has the memory phrase, you have your hand on this bird, the chicken. The memory phrase becomes understandable when you think that the chicken is a domesticated bird. Other birds will fly away when you approach with your hand, but you can only have your hand on this bird, the chicken. The next radical for hand is a hand which is reaching downwards. It has an upper line which is considered to be the hand, with 3 strokes below that are considered to be the fingers. Here we have the character for vegetable. Vegetable is composed by the image of grass or plant and the image for to pluck or to pick up. And to pluck or to pick up is composed by that hand which is reaching downwards and a tree. The memory phrase for to pluck is, the hand reaches from above into a tree to pluck. Again, the hand reaches from above into a tree to pluck. Now let's come to the memory phrase for vegetable. This comprises, as I already said, the images for grass or plant and to pluck. The memory phrase is, the plant you can pluck is the vegetable. Again, the plant that you can pluck is the vegetable. I think it becomes rather easy to memorize the characters when you are aware about their components. The next one is the character for love with the pronunciation
I
and this is composed by that hand which is reaching downwards, a cover, and the character for friend, which we already discussed. It has this memory phrase: when I reach down through a cover to a friend, then because of love. Well, this memory phrase does not make too much sense, but nevertheless, I think that a memory phrase makes it much easier to memorize a character than simply stroke by stroke. The next radical which is used for hand is rather frequently used, but the scholars are not aware about its origin. Some say that it is a hand upwards, and the little dot on the left is the symbol for the pulse. In the kanji trainer, this radical is always used with the meaning skillful hand. Coming to the first character, it has the meaning time or period, and it is composed by the characters for sun or day and that skillful hand. The memory phrase is: a day is divided by a skillful hand into periods. Again, a day is divided by a skillful hand into periods. Okay, the next one has the meaning excuse and is composed by the character for word and to shoot. The character for to shoot is composed by a body and this skillful hand. The body can be understood as a side view with one foot put in front at the left. Now the memory phrase for to shoot. The body stands laterally and needs a skillful hand to shoot. Again, I memorize to shoot with the phrase: the body stands laterally and needs a skillful hand to shoot. Coming now to the character for excuse, which is, as I already said, composed by the characters of word and to shoot. It has the memory phrase: the words after the shot were excuses. Again, I remember the character for excuse with the phrase: the words after the shot were excuses. Now we are coming to this variant for hand, but I like to explain it to you by using the smartphone app. I am now asked in the Hanzi trainer for the character for the right hand side. Here in the bottom it's a drawing area where I can draw the character with my finger. Then here in the middle an explanation field pops up where some background of the character is shown to me and the memory phrase is given. Here we have the radical for hand and the radical for mouth. The memory phrase is: the hand for the mouth, the one you eat with, is your right. So hand and mouth in combination means right. Here at the left of the drawing area we have the radicals which are used in this character. In this case 3 radicals. I go to the middle one, which is that radical for hand, and I see all characters with this kind of hand. Here, the one for right, we just discussed. Above it, it's the character for left. And I go to the little arrow downwards and see more information. This character also comprises the character for hand and the character for build or work. This is actually the image of a carpenter square. The carpenter square does not work itself, but it assists for working. This is equal to the left hand, and the memory phrase is: the hand that assists, so supports with the carpenter square, is the left. Again, the hand in combination with the carpenter square means left. At the top of this list we have the Hanzi character with the meaning to have and the pronunciation yo. It comprises this kind of hand and the character for body or flesh. Well, this is actually the same as the character for moon or month, but in many cases it also has the meaning body or body part. Here the memory phrase, I have a hand and a body, I am existing. So hand and body in combination means to exist. Here we have the character for snow, and I see that this is a combination of rain and hand. You can memorize the component for rain when you think that this is a view out of a window with a cloud and some drops of rain. So the 4 short lines are actually drops of rain. And the memory phrase for snow is rain you can hold in your hand is snow. Again, rain and hand in combination means snow. Well, now I'm interested to get more information about the component for rain, and this is very easy to get. I simply make a double click on the Hanzi character for snow, and I come to a follow-up page where I get several information about this character. Among this, I can see all radicals which are used in this character. I go to the radical for rain and come to the follow-up page where I see all usages of this component for rain. I could discuss them, but as I am interested here in this video for the hand, I go twice on the backward button and come back to the overview page for this kind of hand. I now like to introduce the function click and show, which is this button. I go on it once, twice, and I see on the left all Hanzi characters and at the right a void space. By clicking into the void space, I can get additional information. And I can see if I remembered the character correctly. Furthermore, this function is very important for learning, because learning is combining known stuff with new information. With this function, you can easily find out all variations for hands. You can find out for similarities and differences, and when you learn by focusing to similarities and differences, I can promise to you that you will have a much better and in particular a long-term memory effect. Now let's come to the second line here. In this line we have some radicals which are in a connection to the radical hand. You can switch them off and on, and the related Hanzi characters are added or removed from the list below. With a double click on a button you can switch the active list. For example, I go here on the 4th radical and I see all Hanzi characters which are related to this radical, which is considered to be a hand with a broom. I go back. Now let's check for the 5th one. The meaning of this radical is a brush. It has at the top the image of a hand, the vertical line is the brush itself, and the 2 horizontal lines below are lines which were written by that brush. I go here to the 4th entry. I see that this Hanzi character has the meaning to build or to construct. It is composed by the radical for movement and by this writing brush. The memory phrase is, you need a brush in your hand and to move for building. Okay, let's go back, and in principle I like to stop here with this presentation, but still I like to show you one further function. This function is in the main menu and it tells you how to search for the radicals. Here at the bottom we have the field radicals. I go on it and I come to the search page. I enter the word hand and get the radicals that are directly or indirectly related to hand. Here, this radical has the meaning vertical, and it shows a hand vertically over the ground. And quite a few characters use this radical. The first one here in this list is the character for longitude, or to pass through. And it is a combination of the character for thread and vertical. This character is derived from a loom where the vertical threads were the longitudinals. This is how the combination of thread and vertical brings us to the meaning of longitudinal or passing through. The next one has the meaning to be weird, bewildering. It is a combination of the radical for feeling and vertical. The memory phrase is, feelings so upright are weird. The next one is very easy to remember. It has the meaning to select, to choose, or to pick. It is a combination of one version of hand with the component of vertical. With your hand, you pose vertically over the desired goods when selecting. Also, the next one is easy to remember. It has the meaning easy or light, and it shows the components of vehicle and vertically. The memory phrase is pulling a vehicle by hand over the flat ground, so which is aligned to the vertical, is easy and light. So vehicle and vertically is easy. The next one has the meaning to translate or to interpret. It is a combination of word and vertically. The memory phrase for this is, making words vertically is their translation. Just another one. This one has the meaning moist, wet or luster. It is a combination of water and vertical. So for the memory phrase, you think that the water cannot run off because it is flat. The memory phrase is, the water keeps it when the ground is arranged to the vertical, moist and luster. Okay guys, let's stop the presentation here. I do know that the presentation was very long and practically too many characters to learn. Therefore, please watch the video again or download the app. The app is also available for Japanese, and then it is called Kanji Trainer. Please give a thumbs up and please recommend this way for learning, so based on the understanding of the components, to your friends who learn either Japanese or Chinese. I really wish you much fun and success with learning.